In the heart of the wild frontier, where the land stretched far and the skies were endless, there lived a skilled tracker named Sam. With brown hair that had seen many suns rise and fall, his keen green eyes sparkled with the wisdom of someone who had spent most of his life wandering through forests and hills. Sam was not just any tracker, he could read the land like an open book. He knew every trail, stream, and hidden path, making him a valuable ally to those in need. Sam had a simple mission in this vast wilderness, to find and help those lost or in trouble. He considered himself a guardian of the weak, always ready to lend a hand when danger lurked around the corner. With a trusty bow on his back and a knife at his side, he could protect himself should threats arise from both man and nature. One crisp morning, as the pale sunlight broke through the trees, Sam had set out on another venture. He had heard whispers in nearby towns about troubles among local tribes and settlers. The tales of kidnapped maidens captured his attention, igniting the flame of his quest for justice. His heart was full of determination to uncover what had happened to these women. Little did he know that this very day would lead him to an unexpected encounter, a chained Comanche maiden who desperately needed help. As Sam ventured deeper into the rugged terrain, he felt something stir in the air, hinting at an adventure that would challenge everything he believed about bravery, honor, and love. As Sam trekked through the dense underbrush, the scent of pine filled the air, mingling with a faint sweetness from the wildflowers scattered along the trail. His keen instincts kept him alert, listening for danger and searching for signs of distress. Just as he rounded a bend in the path, a sudden rustling caught his attention. Curiosity piqued, he stepped quietly toward the sound. What Sam saw next stopped him in his tracks. There, beneath a gnarled old tree with roots twisting like fingers into the earth, lay a young Comanche maiden. She was bound with rough ropes, her wrists chafed and red from the chains that held her prisoner. Sunlight danced upon her long black hair, revealing her striking features even in her despair. Sam's heart raced, not just from fear for her safety but from anger at what had been done to her. As he approached cautiously, taking great care not to startle her or give away his presence too soon, he quickly pieced together what must have happened. He remembered hearing murmurs of raids, how rival tribes and settlers had clashed violently in recent weeks. The maiden must have been captured during one such conflict, perhaps her village had fallen prey to ruthless assailants seeking power or resources. Sam crouched low to the ground and whispered softly to reassure her that help had arrived. He observed the area around them carefully, knowing that danger might lurk close by. As he freed her wrists from their painful bonds, thoughts swirled in his mind, a mixture of hope and terror at what would follow now that they were together. As Sam knelt beside the Comanche maiden, a whirlwind of thoughts spun through his mind. He had always traveled alone, following the codes of the frontier. His mission was to help those in need, yet helping her now could change everything. Should he risk it all for a stranger? The stakes felt higher than ever. He glanced around, noting the shadows that fell across the forest floor and sensing that danger could be just beyond the trees. If he freed her, they would be exposed and vulnerable. He felt a chill run down his spine as he recalled tales of warriors hunting down those who dared to interfere with their captives. Sam's heart was heavy with conflict, his instincts urged him to keep moving and avoid trouble, yet every fiber of his being yearned to help. The maiden looked at him with wide, frightened eyes, and in that moment, something shifted within him. Her silent plea ignited a fire in Sam's heart. He thought of his own family and how he would want someone to step in if they were in danger. He couldn't turn away from her plight, it felt wrong to abandon her when she needed help the most. With a deep breath, he made up his mind. It didn't matter what dangers lay ahead, he couldn't leave her there shackled and alone. She deserved freedom and safety, just like anyone else. Sam reached for the rough ropes binding her hands, determination coursing through him. Today might not just be about survival, it might also become a chance to make a difference in someone else's life. As Sam carefully untied the ropes binding the maiden's wrists, he quickly scanned the surrounding area for any signs of her captors. He knew they couldn't stay in that spot for long, time was not on their side. The sounds of the forest filled his ears, but in the back of his mind, he imagined the ominous silence that would follow if they were discovered. "Listen," he whispered to her after she flexed her newly freed hands, "we need to move fast and quietly." Sam shared his plan with her, outlining their escape route. They would slip through the thick brush along a narrow path he knew well, leading them deeper into the woods where they could find shelter and safety. However, there was one crucial element that worried him: he needed to distract any nearby guards before they left. He carefully looked around and spotted a boulder a short distance away that could serve as a perfect diversion point. If he could create a noise there, it might draw attention away from their escape. With swift determination, Sam gathered some dry leaves and small branches and piled them together behind the boulder. He rigged them so that with just a slight push of a rock, it would tumble down, creating a loud crash that would surely catch anyone's attention. "Stay close to me and be ready," he instructed her. They moved toward the edge of the clearing where Sam prepared to execute his diversion. With a deep breath and steady hands, he pushed the rock forward. The crashing sound echoed through the trees as he grabbed her hand and led her away from danger, praying it had been enough to mask their flight. As they hurried through the underbrush, the young maiden, whose name was Ayanna, gathered her thoughts and began to share her story with Sam. She spoke softly, her voice barely a whisper amid the rustling leaves. Ayanna was the daughter of a respected Comanche chief, known for his wisdom and bravery in battle. Their village thrived on the rich lands they roamed, filled with vibrant culture and traditions passed down through generations. One fateful night, while Ayanna and her family were celebrating a successful hunt, their joy turned to horror. Enemy warriors attacked without warning, intent on capturing members of her tribe. In the chaos, Ayanna was separated from her parents and taken captive. She had fought fiercely but was overpowered by sheer numbers. In the days that followed, she endured hardship and fear as she was moved from camp to camp, bound in chains like an animal. Despite this torment, Ayanna held on to hope that one day she would reunite with her family. They were everything to her, the source of her strength and identity. As she recounted her story of loss and longing, tears welled in her eyes. "I often dream of my father leading our people," she said softly. "He taught me how to be strong. I must return to them." Sam listened intently, feeling a wave of empathy for her plight. Her tale deepened his resolve to protect her at all costs. He understood that not only was he saving a life but also helping Ayanna reclaim her place among those who loved her dearly. Together, they would navigate this dangerous frontier and face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the first light of dawn broke through the dense canopy, a soft glow illuminated the forest around Sam and Ayanna. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of dew-kissed earth and the faint rustle of leaves in the early morning breeze. Sam could feel a palpable tension hanging over them, as if the very woods were holding their breath in anticipation of what was to come. Sam and Ayanna had found a small clearing where they could rest for a moment before continuing their escape. However, deep down, Sam knew that danger was still lurking close by. He had spotted tracks while on their journey, a sure sign that her captors were searching for her. The thought sent chills down his spine as he wondered if they would soon face the wrath of the warriors hunting her. Ayanna sat quietly beside him, her eyes scanning the shadows for movement. The fear etched on her face reminded him of how desperate their situation truly was. "What if they find us?" she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "We must stay quiet and keep moving," Sam replied, trying to instill calmness in her. He felt a knot tightening in his stomach as he imagined confronting 40 warriors led by her father. It was not just about saving Ayanna anymore, but also about facing the consequences of his actions. As dawn's light began to brighten the sky, illuminating their hiding place, Sam's instincts kicked into high gear. Every rustle in the underbrush seemed magnified, every shadow felt charged with menace. With each passing moment, he could sense that time was running out and that soon they would have to decide whether to confront danger or continue fleeing into the unknown wilderness ahead. With the light of dawn casting long shadows, Sam and Ayanna continued cautiously through the underbrush. Suddenly, the silence shattered as a chorus of war cries erupted nearby, sending a shiver down Sam's spine. He turned to Ayanna, who stood wide-eyed, realization dawning upon her. It was her father's warriors, and they were closing in fast. Before Sam could react, he found himself face to face with a line of 40 fierce Comanche warriors, their faces painted for battle and eyes blazing with fury. Each of them held weapons at the ready, poised to protect their own. The moment felt like an eternity as time slowed, hanging heavy in the air. Sam's heart raced as he raised his hands in a gesture of peace. He recognized the leader among them, the legendary chief who had once saved many lives in their village. Ayana's father commanded respect, and without hesitation, Sam stepped forward with his head bowed slightly in submission. "I mean no harm," he declared, his voice steady despite the tension thrumming through him. Ayana's eyes darted from Sam to her father, her heart pounding. She took a hesitant step forward and called out, "Father. I am here." The sight of her amidst the warriors stirred emotions in the chief, who looked between Sam and his daughter. The atmosphere crackled with uncertainty. Would they see Sam as a savior or an enemy? The chief took a step closer, studying their faces as he weighed the situation. Tension thickened. Sam felt as if every heartbeat echoed like a drum. He braced himself for what could come next, hoping for understanding but ready to defend Ayana if needed. In this moment, everything hung in the balance, a rescue that could spark peace or battle, depending on how they chose to resolve this meeting. As Sam stood before the lined-up warriors, a wave of determination surged through him. He was outnumbered, facing a force of 40 warriors trained for battle, yet he refused to back down. Fear danced in the corners of his mind, but he pushed it aside, focusing instead on Ayana and the mission that had driven him this far. This wasn't just about self-preservation, it was about protecting her and facing the consequences head-on. The chief studied him carefully, and Sam could feel the weight of those fierce eyes scrutinizing his every move. The stillness of the moment felt electric. He sensed that any sudden action could tip the balance toward violence. Swallowing hard, Sam held his ground, aware that retreat would only deepen Ayana's vulnerability and loss. His heart raced not with panic, but with resolve. "I mean no harm," he reiterated, his voice steady despite the pounding drumbeat in his chest. The warriors remained tense, their weapons still at the ready, yet something shifted as Ayana's voice echoed through the clearing. Her simple call for her father had charged the atmosphere with hope. As her father stepped closer, doubt flickered across Sam's mind. Yet another part of him insisted that bravery lay not in numbers but in honest intentions and unwavering spirit. He took a breath and squared his shoulders, ready to defend not just himself but Ayana's right to freedom and family. In that moment, surrounded by danger, Sam embodied what it meant to be courageous, standing tall against fear and uncertainty for a cause greater than himself. Whatever happened next would determine their fates, but he was prepared to face whatever challenges awaited them, united with Ayana against all odds. As the tension hung thick in the air, Ayana stepped forward, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. The warriors surrounding her father paused, their fierce expressions softening as they recognized the familiar voice of their chief's daughter. "Father. Please," she called out, her tone urgent yet pleading. "Listen to me." The chief's attention shifted from Sam to Ayana, confusion flitting across his face as he processed her return. Ayana seized the moment to explain quickly what had transpired, how Sam had freed her from the chains and risked his life for her safety. She spoke with passion, recounting her captivity and how desperate she had felt to escape. Her words flowed like a soothing balm over the gathering warriors. They exchanged uncertain glances, their earlier resolve wavering as they heard Ayana's distress and bravery. It was no longer just a foreign tracker standing before them, it was a man who had fought for their beloved daughter. "Sam means us no harm," Ayana urged, looking into her father's eyes with fierce determination. "He helped me when I had lost all hope. Please, do not let fear cloud your judgment." The chief listened intently, realizing that his daughter's trust in Sam was profound. Though he still held authority and responsibility to protect his people, Ayana's plea pierced through to his heart. Gradually, the warriors lowered their weapons, some even relaxed their stances, as they began to grasp that this encounter could lead not to more conflict but to understanding. In that pivotal moment, Ayana played a crucial role in easing her father's fears and those of the warriors. With her bravery and determination, she not only calmed the storm within their midst but also paved the way for an unexpected alliance, giving them both a chance to escape safely into the wilderness ahead. With the confrontation behind them, Sam and Ayana made their way deeper into the wilderness, a newfound bond forged in the heat of danger. As they traveled, Ayana reflected on her father's reaction. While initially filled with uncertainty and anger, his willingness to listen to her had ignited hope not just for her own future, but for potential reconciliation between their worlds. Sam, too, felt a shift within himself. Having faced such formidable odds, he realized that courage extended beyond mere bravado, it also meant understanding and empathy. His respect for Ayana grew deeper as he recognized her strength in standing up to her father, a leader worthy of admiration. Their shared experience would forever alter how he viewed both himself and the dangers of the frontier. In the days that followed their escape, Ayana began to think of ways to bridge the gap between her people and those who settled nearby. Inspired by Sam's bravery, she envisioned a future where conflicts could be resolved without violence, a vision that stirred excitement in her heart. Meanwhile, news of Sam's courage began to spread among both settlers and tribes alike. He became known as the tracker who had risked his life for a Comanche Maiden, earning him respect beyond what he had ever anticipated. That newfound reputation could lead him to more roles that might help foster understanding between different cultures in this wild frontier. Ultimately, both Sam and Ayana emerged from their encounter with a sense of purpose and renewed commitment to create a better future. Their relationship had transformed from mere allies in survival to partners united by shared ideals of freedom and peace, a bond that promised hope even amidst uncertainty in the untamed world around them. As Sam and Ayana found a moment of peace beneath the vast sky, they reflected on their journey and the lessons learned through their trials. Freedom had been both their goal and their gift. It was not merely about escaping chains or warriors but also about embracing the right to choose one's path. For Ayana, freedom meant not just returning to her family but also the chance to advocate for harmony between cultures that had often been at odds. Sam recognized that true freedom extended beyond individual rights, it required understanding and respect for one another's identities and histories. He understood now that in order to forge a better future, he had to honor Ayana's culture and the rich traditions of her people. The trust she placed in him opened his eyes to the importance of listening and learning rather than assuming. Their experiences together had deepened their appreciation for each other's backgrounds. Ayana admired Sam's courage and selflessness, which had shown her that hope could exist even in the darkest moments. In turn, Sam came to see how bravery often lay in vulnerability and the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. As they moved forward, a shared commitment grew within them, to cultivate relationships not built on fear or misunderstanding but on trust and respect. They envisioned a frontier where diverse cultures coexisted peacefully, learning from one another rather than battling over land and resources. In this new understanding of freedom, both Sam and Ayana realized that together they could inspire change, not just for themselves but for future generations. With renewed purpose, they stepped into the wild frontier, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead while carrying the seeds of hope for a more unified world.